Hi friends! In this video I'm going to show you the journey of building my dream setup, from building my first ever gaming PC, I still can't believe I did that, to organizing and decorating to make it as cozy and functional as possible. If you want a full setup tour for my old setup, I did that in a vlog recently, so I will link that somewhere. I started streaming and making videos from my laptop, so I had to figure out a lot of workarounds to be able to make things work. The reason I really felt like it was time for me to upgrade my setup is because my laptop was getting really tired with how much work I was putting her through. Like, I would open Google Chrome and my computer would lag, so it was time.
Estoy cansado, jefe.
This is the inspiration board for how I wanted my setup to look like. I've been collecting pictures of setups on my Pinterest for the longest time. If you're a Pinterest person, you know exactly what I mean. I'm the kind of person who just really likes simple things, stuff that is not too overwhelming to look at. I really wanted something that was cozy and warm, but simple. A lot of green, because that's one of my favorite colors. One thing that's very important to me is that the space is both really cute, but at the same time, very functional. Obviously, upgrading a setup is extremely expensive. It took me quite a few months of planning and saving and slowly getting things. So the first order of business for me was to get a new desk. And this is my face after almost having a mental breakdown over putting this giant piece of wood in my small car. But we did it. We powered through. I got my desk from IKEA. I'm gonna link everything in the description below if you're interested. It had a really nice light wood desk that was a lot bigger than the one I had. That was also important to me. I wanted something that was bigger. I find that IKEA has a lot of stuff that is very just simple and functional, which is what I'm into. Ooh. Oh, my back. And here's me doing some jazz hands showing you. I don't know why I'm doing that with my hand. But this is what the desk ended up looking like. I think in comparison to what it looked like before, I just had so much more space and it felt like a breath of fresh air. Next, I'm going to show you how I built my first ever gaming PC. I had never built a PC before. This was my very first one. I had no idea what the parts were or anything like that. Thankfully, I had a lot of help from friends and family who have done it before. So I'm going to link below some really good websites for doing research on computer parts. I'm also just going to link all of the parts that I got from my computer in case you want to get the exact same one. I wanted to get something that was a bit of a balance between really good stats and that I wouldn't have to upgrade for a long time, but also more on the affordable side. I am not an expert on this at all, but I'm gonna try to walk you through the process of what I did. This might not be the most technical description of things, but this is kind of how I understand it. The first part of building my computer was setting up my motherboard. What I understand, the motherboard is the tray that you plug everything into so all the parts of your computer can communicate to each other. This is the processor that I got. The processor is basically the brain of the computer that sends the signals to let the computer know what it needs to do. I followed a video on YouTube of a guy that explained step by step how to build your computer, so I'm gonna also link that below. Next, I'm going in with the RAM memory, the amount of space that your computer has to run programs and code, which is different to your storage memory, which I'll get into in a second. I had the best time peeling plastic during this entire process. You'll see. And next is my SSD card. This is the actual storage memory of your computer. So the RAM is what helps you with the programs and the coding, and the SSD is the storage memory. So this is where you would save your pictures and your games. So this is what you would think of when you think about any kind of storage device. Next, I'm moving on to my cooler. As the name suggests, this is what's gonna keep my computer from overheating. There are a couple different types of cooler. There are just a regular fan that you can put on top of your processor. I chose a liquid cooler. I don't really know how it works, but it uses a liquid to chemically cool down your processor, which is definitely more expensive than putting a fan on your processor. But from what I've heard, it can be more effective to keep your computer cool. This is the case I chose. This is where all of those wires and things are gonna go into. She is so beautiful. I love that it's completely white, but that it has those beautiful wooden details at the front. It goes really well with the vibe of my setup. And this is just me securing the motherboard into the case. Again, I had never built a PC before, so I thought it was really cool how everything is kind of already set up for you to just put in the screws and forget about it. I was quite impressed by that. Way easier than I had anticipated. My case came with a couple of fans. Later, you'll see that I'm still gonna use them, but in this part, I'm removing them so that I can put in my liquid cooling fans at the front. It's very important to have good ventilation in your case. Again, so that your PC is not overheating. The video that I linked below that I was following is very good at explaining where to put your fans in order to have really good ventilation. You're supposed to have some like sucking in air inside of your case and some taking the hot air out of your case, if that makes sense. I don't really know much about this. I just followed the video that I was watching. It is important to note that depending on the brand and the type that you're getting is different, so it can get a little confusing at times, but everything is set up for you to be able to figure it out. It's kind of like a puzzle. If you want to build your own PC, I promise you're going to be able to figure it out. It's not as hard as it looks. You got this. I believe in you. I still had my partner in crime, Eddie, on standby in case I had any questions about how I was building my PC. Shout out to Eddie for being so helpful and reassuring. I think I have to put this. Okay, I'm putting it in.
Alright, you got this.
Okay, it's in.
You did it.
Thank you. And this is me putting in the rest of the fans. We're using the fans that came with the case. I ended up putting them on top. I'm also adding an extra fan to the back. So in total, I have 6 fans in my PC. And this is the power supply. This is what's gonna give your computer electricity so that it can turn on. This is one of the parts that I found the most challenging, just figuring out where to put which wires. Even though I found that everything on the motherboard is labeled and every wire is labeled, I still was quite nervous that I was not gonna plug the things in the right places. So this is probably the part that took me the longer just to double check and triple check that I was plugging in the things in the right places. And last but not least, I am plugging in my graphics card. The graphics card, from what I understand, dictates how good the image of your computer is and also what kind of games you're able to run in your computer and things like that. And this is the moment I turned on my computer for the first time. I was so scared that it wasn't gonna turn on. Bless you.
It's working.
I did it. People talk about women in STEM. Hey, I love women in STEM. What about non-binary people in STEM? You ever think about that? I got this computer screen race from Amazon, just a very simple design. And I got 2 white screens to put on top of it. So pretty. The next thing I wanted to find was a nice set of drawers to put on the left side of my computer, because for the longest time I had been using an old 9-stand that we've had for years and years, and I really needed more storage. I ended up settling for this set of drawers from IKEA. This was the one that I found that was gonna fit the space just right. You can see me moving around that measuring tape. Shout out to Laura for helping me build this.
Don't say we don't do anything for you.
Also, I don't know what came over us that we decided to open this box like we were savages. This is the old nightstand that I have been using as my side table and storage. And this is what it looks like now. It fit perfectly, and I honestly have way more storage than I probably need. But here's me just organizing all of my silly little things into it, and then getting completely distracted showing you some of my favorite stickers. Next thing was probably one of my favorite parts, and that is just decorating. So here I'm going to show you some of the things that I put on my desk. I have this really cute vitamin holder that I keep on my desk. If you saw my last vlog, you know why. This is my very old iPad that I've had for quite a few years, but I still use it for work, so I like to keep it at hand. I also always need to have a coaster on my desk. You know that if you're gaming or doing something in your computer, you have to have still a little drink. You just have to. I'm also adding this beautiful Lego flowers that I built on stream recently. I also have this really nice headphone stand that a lovely viewer got me from my throne. So thank you. I really love it, and I'm putting my fine gaming headphones on them. I love them so much. This is probably the most important part of my setup. I also decided to get these lights off of Amazon or when I'm streaming. They're very nice. They have different settings, and you can also make them dimmer or brighter. You can see me here clipping them to my monitor. I ended up changing that because I didn't want my monitors to be damaged by the clip. I'm still trying to figure out where to put them in my setup. Added some plants to the shelf next to my desk because I just really love having greenery in my space. And last but not least, the bane of my existence, cable management. I always get these really nice bags of cable managing tools off of Amazon and just kind of go to town. And this is also the part where I realized that I should probably move my PC to the right side because it would make more sense with all of the wires. And this is what it looked like all managed. Wow, what a difference. Just as a reminder, this is what my setup used to look like. And this is what it looks like now. I could not be happier with how my setup turned out. But I feel like a gaming setup is one of those things that you just keep improving as time goes on. I really wanted to incorporate things to my setup that just made me really happy. All of those cubbies are filled with arts and crafts. I also have this shelf with my GameCube and some things that mean a lot to me from stream and from loved ones. What did you think of this transformation? Let me know. Would you ever be down to build a gaming PC, or have you built a gaming PC before? If I loved spending time here before, now there's no way I am being pulled away from my computer. This is where I live. Anyway, let me know what you thought in the comments, and most importantly, remember to take care of yourself, have some rest, have some water, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.